Hi, welcome to my video where I return from Lazardria to St Helier. I have a nice walk and get thoroughly lost in a little French wood. Make a couple of little errors with regards to tides and things. I'd be curious what you'd do differently. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it with a cup of tea, cup of coffee, beverage of your choice. And I definitely recommend a biscuit this time. Many thanks. Enjoy my video. I find it funny that we go sailing, but I actually end up doing quite a lot of walking. Although I didn't do that much walking on my middle day. Obviously, I popped to the Chandlers to see what they had in, just in case I ever need anything, and had a look around the boatyard at some of the poor old derelict boats, and then headed out of town, where I had a nice walk, quite countrysidey, quite quickly, and I just followed my nose with absolutely no plan. Didn't go as far as I wanted to. But I did come across the lighthouse, Phare Côte Mer, which is the rear red light for the inner leading lights, which we'll see when we head out of town. I then wandered on to sort of water catchment area where there was it flooded with the high tides, drained and ground to flour, I think, if I understood it correctly. Found a nice big tasty mushroom, and that was, I thought, quite funny. I downloaded an app to identify it, but then actually I just clicked on the information on the picture, and I managed to find out it was a parasol mushroom, which can be eaten with care, but I don't follow my advice. I didn't eat it. There is one that's exactly the same. One has cream coloured spores and one has green spores, so yeah, don't risk it, don't follow my advice. I didn't eat it. I certainly wouldn't want to be on a sailing boat with a poorly tummy, so yeah, but it was a nice mushroom. For those who do forage, what a great skill, but yeah, I'm not willing to risk it. Did get a bit lost. I sort of followed the path, and that's why I've not shown it very well on here, but I'm sure I ended up cutting across someone's back garden, but the path was seriously overgrown, and there was rusting fence wire across the path, so I don't know if someone's trying to sort of claim it back or not, but it was fun, and it was quite a scrabble, but there was paths there, and it was good. It was a good little walk. Prior to heading to the boat, back to the boat, and getting ready. Well, I've moved down the river because I want to leave at I want to be out to sea by sort of 6ish, so I guess 5:30ish. I've moved out of the marina. Low water would have been 4ish. I probably could have left at 5 at the latest, but then the tide was started to run. So rather than faffing around when I'm tired, I've come out and I've come down the river. So I've picked up a buoy just while I tidy up, and I'll go and anchor in a minute, and yeah, then all we've got to do is pull the anchor up and we're off in the morning, so that's got to be good. But oh, it's so lovely. Hopefully it'll get quieter as well. I don't like the birds and stuff, but I think there's a tractor and stuff over there, and it's just delightful. It's telling me that's level, but that doesn't look level. That looks level, but it says out of level. That can't be good. Oh, it changes as I move around. There you are. So I sort of walked. What do I do? I walked kind of along there today. It was a nice walk, although I did lose the path and it did get a bit brambly and holly bushy. Some boats turned up and they're staying for the week, I guess tomorrow and going back Sunday. But Sunday is westerly 3, I think, 2 to 3, whereas tomorrow's southerly 3 to 4. So I think tomorrow is still the better sail home. So that's got to be good. So I think we'll stick with that as a plan. I think we're just going to enjoy the evening for another hour or so, and then we'll think about cooking some dinner. can't be bad, eh? So pushing the tide just to get out of the tree up. Look, nearly 3 knots against me through this little bit. So just worry through here. I should really maybe have gone down and across there, it would have been with me, but then I'd have pushed a bit more of the tide around the corner because it comes around the corner. So I should have got out there now. Yeah.
We're out dancing in the dark, broken pieces, open hearts, finding out just who we are. Painting over every scar, turning tragic into art. Feels like magic, just like magic. Dancing in the dark, broken pieces, open hearts, finding out just who we are. Painting over every scar, turning tragic into art. Feels like magic, just like magic.
Not much tide left, but a bit, but we're sailing along quite nicely. Oh, make some noise. Right, that goes down, I suppose.
pieces, open hearts, finding out just who we are. Painting over every scar, turning tragic into art. Feels like magic, just like magic. Dancing in the dark, broken pieces, open hearts, finding out just who we are. Painting over every scar, turning tragic into art. Feels like magic, just like magic.
So the tide's against us now. Just going to get along the south coast, so we'll clear all the rocks and we can bear away and head in. Well, that's my track for the return leg from Lazardria to St Helier. Would appear I left at 6:30 this morning. You can see where I dropped off. Hoisted the main and the mizzen. Went up here all in the dark, but it's okay. Now, usually I normally go home that way, out of there. But I decided to push on because the wind was forecast southeasterly. Where are we to? So sort of there. But I wanted, because it wasn't going to be that strong, sort of 3 to 4, I wanted to bring it more on the nose, or more on the beam, rather than after the beam. So I carried on up here, and because I was a bit late leaving, I was surprised at the tide through here, which you'll probably seen on the video, with a couple of knots against me, but I did leave an hour later than I thought was best, but it was okay. Once we were through, pushed on through, tide was really swirling across there, so that was all good. So gained a bit of tide, cut the corner. Because I realised I was going to be pushing the tide at the other end, I let the tide push me down from my route, so I ended up sort of down from it, and then let the tide, as it turned around, push me back up, and then I cut through. I was actually looking at Danger Rock Passage through there, but because the tide was heading east, I didn't want to get too close to those rocks there, so I went round to the east of Danger Rock. Not that would have, I think when I went through there I'd have still gone over, well, I would have gone over that, not a problem, but it's just nice to avoid them. And then got the sails in and headed on in. So the track is showing 46.9 miles, I think, and I've written down there. Oh, yeah, 46.9 miles, whereas the log is showing 50.4, so 3.5 miles I pushed against the tide, which is probably actually mostly in that bit there, actually, then at the start, because by the time I got here I was mostly going sort of across the tide, So yeah, all in all, quite an interesting sail. I really enjoyed it. Was done in quite, well, didn't seem to take that long at all. But we're all in, all moored up. All I've got to do now is tidy up. Wish me luck. Yeah, that might be the last long sail of the season. Not sure, we'll see. It certainly won't be going that way until next year, because the customs setup changes. So, if you've had to watch my video, thank you very much. See you another time. I didn't realise how prophetic the comment about that being my last sail to France for this year would be. I went and tripped over the dog and cracked my metatarsal. Having said that, I had some video from a sailing trip last year which I really wanted to share. I found it really interesting because I was on the verge of selling the boat and even sort of kind of thinking about giving up sailing. But I had such a good trip away. It really was a lovely cruise. So in 2 weeks' time, I want to share the start of that trip where I go from Jersey to the Yelm, to the Dartmouth, and also go to Lazardria again. So I hope you'll look out for those. Thank you for watching the videos. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Hi, my dad says thanks for watching his video. He tells me that if you like and subscribe, he'll give me treats. Please?